Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Mommy and Me. I am Brii Renee.
And I'm Miss Renee.
And we are Mommy and Me, clearly. Shout out to everybody that's been tuned into the episodes. We've been getting so much great feedback, and we definitely want to keep you guys engaged. So if you have been watching, let us know which episode was your favorite, which parts are your favorite, what questions on certain topics do you feel like you want us to answer more of, and we will drop maybe part twos, because I think the IUI conversation is doing really well, and a lot of people have so many questions that we might have to run that back. And we just keep it real with each other. As a mother-daughter, I think as moms, there's some things that you don't know that you want to know. And as a daughter, there's some things that I want to know. But in this conversation, I think this one is like past me being your daughter. I feel like as a Black woman, I am a fan of you, sis. And I think a lot of my friends that have grown up around you or have had the pleasure of meeting you, they honor or respect and admire you so much because of your drive, your ambition, and your level of execution when it comes to like entrepreneurship. And we talked a little bit in another episode about how you didn't even really know you were an entrepreneur because that wasn't really a thing. Back then, you were like a hustler, like, oh, I got a job and a side job or whatever, a side hustle, and you were just trying to make ends meet and live a better life and create that life and put a roof over our head. But it's past working multiple jobs. It's like you are a high-level entrepreneur and you've been able to tackle so many things in your lifetime and in my short little lifetime. So it's like I have to give you your flowers as an entrepreneur. I've seen this woman I didn't get to see her be a police officer, but she has been a police officer. She was one of the first Black women on the Atlanta Police Department forced to ride the motorcycle unit. Were you the first woman or just first Black woman?
Black woman.
First Black woman to be a motorcycleman in the city of Atlanta. You went on to switch so many careers. So she went from being a police officer to then getting pregnant with me to then pursuing a law degree. You became a city public defender, which is a very stressful, high-level, intense job in itself. A City of Atlanta public defender, going from a public defender to then working as one of the city attorneys, then retiring as a city attorney when I was going to college, to then really being a full-time entrepreneur. But while having those full-time, high-level, stressful jobs as a police officer, as an entrepreneur, as a police officer, as a public defender, and as city attorney, that's like enough in itself. Like, I'm talking about drive you to drinking kind of jobs, But
And I did start drinking around those ages.
yeah, but while you were doing those things, you always had these side hustles of entrepreneurship. Like she built every house I lived in growing up, like her and a couple Mexicans. Like I've seen her change your brakes, sell cards. She had S&E auto sales at one point. She sold dirt. She had literally had a dump truck that sold dirt. Literally
Well,
dirt.
they did more than sell dirt. We hauled things for other.
There was a dump truck in our driveway for a very long time that hauled things and sold dirt. I didn't even know people sold dirt. That's on the ground. I thought God gave us that for free. But she was selling dirt. And then even went from selling dirt, I think what else? You had the auto sales, you sold dirt, you built houses. So you was flipping real estate, then leaving the 9-to-5 to, retiring from the city, right? When I graduated high school. And then you went on to be a full-time entrepreneur. You didn't say I'm a full-time entrepreneur now, but in a true hustler fashion, she couldn't sit down. And so you went into...
Well, I think what I would say to that was that I realized and didn't know that I was reinventing myself. And I was never afraid to try different things. And that's what we've got to instill in our children. If something doesn't work, don't be afraid to try something else. Reinvent yourself until something sticks. And that's what I've always believed in. I've never given up. Like you said.
And you know what else you did? This is pretty impressive too. You were the first Black woman in the country or just the state to own that many daycares? Somebody who
in
don't
the
even like
country.
kids. Mind you, she don't even like
It was an
children.
opportunity. It was an opportunity. We did.
But a businesswoman saw that. That's what I'm saying. You have a mind for this.
It was an opportunity to own about 15 nurseries, me and a group of partners at the time, and I eventually bowed out of it because it didn't work for me. You know, it wasn't
Your
what
passion
it wasn't
or-
what I thought it was going to be. And one of my dear friends to this day still runs, you know, those nurseries. She sold off a couple of them and over the years, but I was just never afraid to reinvent myself. And I guess
And then went from daycares to now the shit business. It's literally the shit business. She moves shit
well,
for a living.
I install infrastructure, okay? And so I'm very happy to be doing that. Now, I've encountered a lot of pitfalls along the way. You know, unfortunately, there are some things that, like I said before, and I'll be very honest and transparent about some things that I'm dealing with now, personally, as a result of that business, and that's because I trusted the wrong person in my life at the time, and so as a result, I'm having to deal with that, and that's for a later conversation. But I've never been afraid to work and to work hard, and I've never been afraid to pivot, you know, to reinvent myself and to do whatever you need to do to make it work, and eventually something will work, you know. I've always been honest about my endeavors. I've always given 110%, you know, whenever I've gone into something. And I will tell you that a lot of those endeavors, I've lost money. A couple of those endeavors I've had to walk away from. The daycare, I leveraged, you know, rental properties that I had built and flipped and made lucrative, and, you know, I leveraged those for those daycares, and then I had to make a decision to walk away from those daycare, but I was still left with that responsibility of that note behind them. And so I made good on that note. I'm never going to put myself or anybody, I put it like this, I'm never going to put anybody else, whether it be a bank or a lending institution or anybody else, in a bad position because of the decision that I made. I'm going to make good. I believe, and I grew up with an understanding, and it meant something, that my word is my bond. And so without my word and without my bond, who am I? I'm nothing. So I've always lived by that. And so
That's your street cred.
that's my street cred. And so that's just who I am to my core. And so I worked and I worked and I worked and I worked and I continue to work. And I probably won't stop working until good Lord calls me home. But that's just who I am.
You don't think you'll ever like take a break, like go
I mean,
or
taking a break for me is being able to take my family on vacations and being able to enjoy vacations and being able to enjoy some of the finer things in life. But I understand it's got to be paid for.
So like this is what I want to know, because your mama, my grandma, she had what, 8 kids?
Total. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but
There was never more than 5 in the house at the time. Mm-hmm.
yeah, because you know, duh, she didn't have them all at the same time.
Okay.
She had a little break in between popping out all them kids. But I'm saying like with all these kids, right? Because 8 is a lot back in the day. That's normal, but not now. Ain't nobody popping out 8 kids.
I hope not.
Not me. But anyways, with that, like, you are literally the only one that's like this. Not, no shade. Everybody else is like working, you know, and okay with in their own right. But to the level of ambition and hustle and drive that you have, you're literally the only one. So it's like,
I guess
what made you different? Because y'all always raised by the same person.
I don't know. I guess I bit into, you know, the story more so than anybody else. When Mama said, hey, you can do anything in this world you want to do, I literally thought, hell, I can do anything I want to do. You know, I didn't see any limits. I don't see the world as a limit. You know, to me, the world is my playground. I just pick and choose where I decide to play. You know, what ball I want to toss or what road I want to go down. That's literally up to me. And I would say that to every parent, to make sure you instill that to your children, that the world is their playground.
Yeah, you used to say the world is your oyster.
The world is your oyster.
There's a whole big wide world.
There's a world out there. To quit limiting your children to thinking that they're only capable of doing one thing, or they're limited in the things that they can do. Because I think that kids, we can do anything we want to do. We put our mind to it. You may have to go educate yourself a little bit more. In the shit business, I just decided I'm going to go get in the shit business. When I did, hey, wow, I literally got to go back to school for some things. So I made that commitment. I went back to school. I got the credentials to do what it is that I'm doing. So when becoming a lawyer was something that I always wanted to do as a kid watching Perry Mason. But it required me to do what? I had to get an education. I had to go to college, and I had to go to law school. So it's going to require you to put something into it, but yet and still to accomplish whatever it is you desire to accomplish, you just got to make up your mind you're going to do it, and do it. Nothing stopping anybody in this world from doing anything they want to do but themselves.
So is that like what fuels you when you're pivoting? Because you know how like when you pivot and you're changing, you're changing completely different lanes. Some of these lanes kind of are like in the same, like law enforcement lawyer. That's like, okay, I'm going from one sector of law to another.
Totally different.
But it's still totally different. But I'm saying I can see you having a lot more confidence doing that. But going from law to daycares or daycares to the shit business, those are completely, so like, do you feel like just having that belief in yourself and that confidence, like what gives you, because a lot of people are afraid to quit their 9-to-5 and start a bakery, or quit their normal, my family always did this. So like, how do you gotta get over that fear?
You gotta pivoting. You gotta pivot to things that you understand. See, people have to understand that when you're pivoting to things that you can gravitate to, things things you understand, things that wouldn't be hard for you to grasp based on your intellect. Now, what I will say to people, and I've said this to you all your life, and I'll say this to anybody out there listening, to every parent. If you're going to tell your children to pivot, to chase their anything, tell them to chase their dreams, not money. Never, ever chase a dollar. I've raised you that way all your entire life. I've always preached that to everybody that I know, all of my bonus daughters. Never chase a dollar. Because if you do, you'll forever be unhappy. But if you chase your dreams, whatever they may be, and who says you're limited to one? And that's my point. You're not limited to one dream in life. Chase whatever dream that is. Prepare to do it, and do it to the fullest of your ability, and to do it with gratitude. Don't do it begrudgingly. Do it with honor and dignity, and do it to the very best that you can. Do it with pride, and the success will follow.
Well, you have always encouraged me to chase my dreams, but you've been a little judgmental along the way.
As a parent, I'm always going to be judgmental, because here I am trying to build a dynasty, and I'm telling you, hey, I'm preparing this dynasty, this legacy. Come take it over from me.
The shit business.
You're like, well, I want to be an actor. I'm like, I'm telling you how you can.
Her direct quote was, quote, "Why you want to be a broke ass actor?" End quote.
That may have been my quote, absolutely.
Yeah.
But here I have.
That was my dream.
Okay, that may have been your dream at that point, and I get it. And that's why I didn't push you. You said, hey, this is my dream. I backed the hell up. Okay, fine. I'm going to support you in your dream. Did I not?
Yeah.
Did I not come back and say that that's your dream? Not a problem.
But to your point too, my dream has evolved. Like initially, I thought my dream was to be just an actress. I knew the thing was, once I got on set, I feel this, like even today, I feel a high being here, right? And that's how I knew this
was your calling,
was my dream.
And guess what? And I backed the hell up, and I've been supportive ever since.
And to your point, my dream has also evolved.
Okay.
It has changed. It started off to be an actress, but then as I grew and I learned and I became dedicated to the craft and I evolved and I committed to this field, I learned so much more. So I'm like, hey, why limit myself to just being an actress when I really got this personality? Or
absolutely,
I can be a personality. And it's like, well, why limit yourself to just being talent when you can be producing, when
absolutely,
you can grow, when
absolutely,
you can do this?
Absolutely.
Yes.
So if that's part of your dream, then I support it 110%.
So I'm a crackhead for this.
Hey, and then guess what?
I don't gotta
give
eat when it comes to this.
And that's what you do. You give it.
And
And you know what? And that's the point I was making. Chase your dream, because if it's your dream, you do it for free. You can see
I have
yourself.
done plenty of jobs for free
You
in this
you
industry.
you can see yourself doing it for the rest of your life, and you will be happy at it. And guess what?
No
The money,
sleep, no food.
the money will come.
Yeah.
The money will come. Don't chase the dollar.
And I'm always so, of course, this is on our channel. I'm producing this, but like when every single time I book a job on TV, I still get this excitement. Like, I can't believe these motherfuckers let me on TV. I can't believe I have hoodwinked them again. They have booked me to be here and pay me to do something on television again. And just, who would have thought I'd be here? Not me.
Yeah. So I mean,
Well, I didn't think I'd be here, but it's just like, wow.
There you go.
But it's that gumption I think you gave me as like chasing your dreams. And I
Chase your
think
dream.
that's why I'm saying I give you so much credit for that, because, and I think too, a lot of time, even myself, I battle with like, because I don't have kids yet, right? So it's like I battle with, when are you gonna be a mom? You know, you're in your 30s, you're going, wait, let me tell you my battle, my struggle. I'll be like, you're getting older, and then it's like, I want to be, of course, more solidified, not only with a foundation as a family unit, right? Like I do want the right man. I want a partner like you had that agrees to doing this with me and raising this child 50-50, right? But I also battle with like, is it selfish for me to have a child right now? Because I know I would drop my kid off to you for a week or weeks at a time to be on set somewhere.
Yeah, that would be selfish.
You get what I'm saying?
That
I
would be
know,
selfish.
but I will say I do still think that I'm robbing my child of the ability to see me grind and grow in my career, because I saw you grind, because I was not born with you at this level. I understand the journey of entrepreneurship. I understand the having to pivot. I understand having to work a real job so you can support the side job.
But I think you can still teach your child. I think you can still teach your child that later.
I think sometimes you grow up with a silver. People like to look at you now and think I grew up with a silver spoon. It was wooden. It was. I had a spoon, but they gave me a few splinters. It was wooden, but I think that
you got your ass whooped with from time to time.
Exactly. It was a multi-purpose spoon. But at the same time, I think that being able to see the grind is better than anything you could have ever taught me.
Well, I think that it's possible.
So am I robbing my child of that?
No, because you don't have a child, so you can't be robbing a child at this point of that. I think that everything doesn't work for everybody. So I think that when the time comes for you to become a parent, you will be able to teach your children the things that they need to know. And I think that you'll be able to lead them and guide them to become good, productive kids.
Because you new age grandmas are different. I don't really see you letting me drop my kid off like how you used to drop me off at my grandma's house.
Yeah, but
With all weekend or maybe a week.
I didn't drop you off at no all weekend. I
No,
mean,
you
all week.
Yeah,
weekend.
You would drop me off for a weekend.
Yeah, and that's what people
With like
do for
out calling or checking on me.
Yeah, I could. I mean, you in good hands. Why do you need to call, check on your sister? That's why I tell your sister now, when she dropped Morgan them off with me and I have them.
But you don't keep them all weekend.
Well, yes, I do. I have.
No, they come get picked up.
But their schedules are so different. They are so active now. But even at that, I even tell Tisha, they with me. What the hell is gonna happen to them? Ain't nothing gonna happen to them. I mean, they with the grandma, but don't fucking call us. We'll call you. And as a matter of fact, I'll ask Morgan, you want to call you? I don't want to call my mama. No, I don't. So, I mean, why?
I know, but like, would you allow me, you would judge me if I dropped my kid off?
No, I wouldn't.
For that long?
I wouldn't judge you.
Okay, we got that on tape.
I wouldn't judge you, but I decided to go damn keep him for a whole week.
If I get booked and I need to drop my kid off, then we got that on tape. She's not judging me.
No, I'm not judging you. No.
Yeah.
Because I think it still takes a village to raise kids. It took my mom to help me raise you guys. It took my brother, who's now deceased, to help me raise you guys. It took my sister, who, to help me raise you guys. It takes a village. It takes and I thank God that I had that village to raise you guys, because a lot of times your grandmama saved your life. There's a lot of times your grandma definitely saved you and your sister's life.
In what way?
And because I'd be like, Mama, I'm finna kill this little. She was like, okay, hold on. Hold
Let
on.
me come get her.
Let me talk to her. Hold on. Now, Mama, you better come get her. You better talk. You remember that time you ran the phone bill yourself? You and your sister ran your damn cell phone. When I first got your cell phones, ran those cell phones. Oh, you don't recall. Ran yourself. Your sister was that close to death. I mean, really that close to death.
How many times do you think we were that close to death
Oh
in our
my
life?
God. If I had to count, hundreds.
It ain't been no hundreds of. We haven't did hundreds of things that make you want
Now,
to kill
seriously, probably, 3 or 4 times you were probably
us.
each
Yeah.
close to death. Yeah. But,
Do you know how many times I wish you were that close?
Well, that's fine, because guess what? You would have been going to foster care and somebody,
Oh my God. But yeah, no, I really admire the entrepreneur that you are, and I'm really grateful. Like I said, I'm glad that I got to see your journey, and you still keep going. Like you never cease to amaze me.
No, that's just who I am.
What?
That's just who I am.
Who do you think influenced, outside of like your mom telling you you could do anything, were there any people along the way that like planted seeds?
Oh, yeah, I can tell you. There was 2, actually, I said no, but I take that back. There was 1 positive and 1 negative. I had a teacher by the name of Marie Jones. She's dead now. She was my school mom. She was the one that I looked up to, loved to death, and she genuinely loved and cared about me and was concerned about my well-being. Teachers are not made like that these days. She would spend time with me on the weekends and just teach me how to be a little girl and help me. We were in the hood, we were in the ghetto, but she would teach me and take me and show me better things in life. And so she really poured into me, and she was a part of my life even as I got older and grown. Mm-hmm. And she was always there. I could always call her and tell her the good news, the bad news, and she would always, give me guidance one way or the other. And I truly loved Miss Jones.
What was the negative?
The negative was a high school teacher named Mr. Ingram, and he's dead and gone to this day. And I remember
I hope he didn't come back.
Well,
yeah.
I remember being in his class one day, and he was so judgmental. He was a high yellow guy, kind of a big man of stature. And he looked at me one day, and we were debating about something, and he said to me, Robertson, you ain't gonna never be nothing. He says, you came from nothing, and you will never be nothing. And I was so angry with him. I took my fist, and we had those Liberty glass windows in the door. And I remember that day taking my fist and busting that window out, because I told him, you don't know me. You don't know a damn thing about me. You don't know who I am, where I come from. But I thought that was so horrible. I thought that was so horrible for a teacher to say that to a kid. And I thought that, I had a point to prove to him. When I became a police officer, I made damn sure I went back to the high school and for the career day, to show that son of a bitch that I was something. I was going to be something and somebody. And I never forgot that. I never forgot that.
Well, at least you didn't turn out to be a rapper, because he sure would have made it to your song. Because every rapper out here every nigga alive got a teacher that told them they wasn't going to be shit.
Yeah, he sure did. And I thought, wow.
That's crazy.
The hell with you,
Look
Mr. Ingram.
I never had a teacher tell me that.
May he rest in peace. Yeah. Because,
I think it's
people
an inner
just
city
assume,
thing.
people, sometimes people assume because you're from the ghetto that you are ghetto. Yeah,
You'll always be ghetto.
We were from the projects, and hell, like I said, I thought we lived better than most people I knew. Even the ones that
What hood you was from?
Carver Homes, even people that didn't live in the project. We moved to the projects because hell, they condemned where we were living in Folport, and shit, there was no place for mama to go. There was no place that could accommodate mom and her kids. So we moved to the ghetto. We moved to the projects.
Isn't that crazy? Now we're like literally right around the corner from 4-4 now.
Yeah, we moved to the projects. I grew up walking these streets over here, stealing apples off people's trees in the summertime.
Now they got the belt line. Did you ever think? This
Nah.
is it's a whole white urban, what do they call it? Gentrified area.
Gentrified area.
Now running through what used to be the
because
projects.
my grandmama lived damn near on every street around here.
That is crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah.
You can't even
and now
afford
we can't afford it. My grandmama literally lived damn near on every street in Folport. And then considering, well, only street we lived on was Felton Drive. But yeah, my grandmama lived damn near on every street over here, and now she couldn't even afford, to rent anything around here.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, your journey is really dope. I think that if you knew what you know now, besides having millions of followers, right? Like, do you think you would have went the 9 to 5 route from jump? Like, what do you think your journey would have looked like?
We were programmed to always think that was the way to do it.
Way.
That was the traditional way to do it. You grow up, you get a good job, you go to school, you buy a house, a white picket fence, and you raise your kids happily ever after. Well, it takes us, this generation, it has taken us some time to say, well, damn, there's really other ways of doing this shit.
Yeah.
People can really be successful other than the way that we did it. So I'm open now. I'm open to the idea of people becoming successful other than just working a 9 to 5, because guess what? A 9 to 5 really don't afford you the lifestyle that most people want.
Yeah.
Truth be told. I mean, had I worked only one job, I couldn't have afforded to even, buy myself a BMW when you were coming up. I couldn't afford to, build houses when you were coming. Had I just worked a traditional 9 to just one job. And I've never just worked one job. I've always had multiple jobs. This is the only time in my life that I've had one job.
Well, it's a pretty big one, so.
Yeah, this is the only time in my life that I've had one job. And I've been satisfied with that one job, and I've been committed to that one job.
What's your favorite side hustle that you ever did?
It's always been building houses. I could sit on a construction site with my eyes closed and love the smell of the wood cutting on the, somebody cutting a piece of wood with the saw. It's something
I do
about.
like that smell too, though.
It's something about building, creating that I love.
But she don't just build like a 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom, nice home. Like every house you've ever. I always thought that was your gift, honestly. And like that is your gift. I always used to try to beg her to be a builder.
Let me say this.
Let me say
this. Let me say this, and I encourage everybody that's listening, everybody that will ever hear this, is to know this. God gives us multiple talents. I don't care who you are. I don't care what it is. Multiple gifts. And those gifts, one of them you're going to learn. One gift you're going to learn, because that's the way God is. The other gift is something natural that you never probably even tapped into. You see, my gift naturally is my hands. That's my natural gift. And she said, well, what do you mean your hands? With the ability of my hands, I can create and build anything. I can envision it, I can see it, I can copy it, because I have the gift of my hands. Mm-hmm. Some people gift or other things. I don't know. It may be.
I'm talking.
Your gift of talking, your gift of gab. Mm-hmm. Some people may have, guys are gifted with computer skills and, naturally know how to write programs and encode and things like that. So you just got to tap into that gift.
So you feel like the gift that you...
My first gift was my desire to become an attorney, because I wanted to do that from the age of 7. Perry Mason was my idol, and I thought that's the way it worked. And Lord, did I find out that was not the case. So if you've never seen Perry Mason, check him out, because Perry Mason always got his person to confess on the stand. I did it. Oh, I'm so sorry. That's not real life.
That was writing, but look at it, Perry Mason. But I'm saying, like, do you think that gift, one of those gifts, is supposed to be not for use of profit? Because you never really profited off of your... I mean, you do receive profit when you sell your house and you obviously have equity in it, but you never took that gift and pimped it out like I really wanted you to.
No. I would never pimp out a gift that God has given me, because I never had to. Never had to. He's always provided otherwise. I never had to pimp out my gifts.
I mean, not in a negative way, like
no,
pimp it out.
I mean, I never. He's always sustained me.
Okay, I'll give you
so
that.
I never had to. Now, I guess the better question would be, if I had to make a living at it, would I do it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would.
Okay.
If I had to make a living at it, I would, and would enjoy it.
Yeah, you
I would enjoy it.
What's like one advice that you would give me or any other person out there chasing their dreams, being an entrepreneur, besides not chasing the money?
Believe in yourself. No matter what happens, you've got to be your biggest fan. You've got to believe. When you walk in a room, you've got to own whatever it is you're doing. When you walk in that room, you got to know that, hey, you are the reason why you're there. You know, you've got, whether you're going to a job interview, whether you're going to a casting call, whether you're going to whatever it may be, you got to have confidence in yourself to know who you are and whose you are. You got to have that confidence. Don't ever let anybody take that away from you. So, you know, build, if it means you stand in the mirror every day with some of your trap formations or whatever it is, you got to own it. Own it. Know who you are and never let anybody change that about you. You see, I remember being a police officer, and one of the deputy chiefs, we were on a seminar. We were in New Orleans, and he invited me and my girlfriend and some other people back to their room, and we were talking, and that was the first time we'd ever really sat down and had a conversation. And he looks at me and he says, "Robertson, you know what?" He says, "You know, people say that you're arrogant, you know, and people say, you know, and I thought you were arrogant. And I said, why would you think I'm arrogant? You never met me. We never had a conversation. You've never sat down and actually conversed with me about anything. You're going about what people you've heard about me. But at the end of the day, the average person can't take my confidence. You see, I know who I am. Mm-hmm. You see, I'm happy with who Shalitha is. Yeah. Shalitha's not trying to change Shalitha for nobody. You see, I know who holds me, which is the man upstairs. I know that at the end of the day, if Shalitha's by herself, I gotta like Shalitha. I gotta like who I am, Shalitha Renee. So that people don't understand that. People are not true to themselves. Mm-hmm. So in order to be confident, you got to be true to yourself. You got to be true to who you are.
Yeah.
And you got to know who you are. So that's what I would tell them. Know who you are before you ever walk into a room.
That's good advice.
Because when you know who you are, they can't sell you short.
You're right. That's pretty good advice. Okay, so it's time for I Want to Know. I'll go first. So this is where we ask each other questions, and we both have to be really honestly truthful. So along with your entrepreneurship journey, of course, that in itself is like one of my most favorite things about you, your ambition, your drive, and how you continue to pivot and do all these things and conquer them. But my most proudest, I guess the most proudest I am of you is literally when I have lived in all these houses that you built. And I tell people, like, you know how people be like, oh, my greatest goal is to buy my mama a house. I can't buy my mama a house because she's going to build one that's going to be way better than what I could ever buy her, right? But what I want to do is be able to purchase one of the houses that my mama built. Like, I want to raise my family and be able to say, like, your grandma built this house, right? Like, we're living in one of her visions. And that is what that's like the things that I'm most proud of you about, is like your ability to like design and build these beautiful mansions, right? But what I want to know is, when have I ever made you the most proud? When have you ever been like, I'm proud of you. I'm really proud of you.
I've had several of those moments. Watching you grow, you know, I watch you, you know, go after your craft, put in the work to become who you want to become in this field, in this industry, and just seeing it come to fruition. I mean, I had no expectations other than for you. No. I say no. Because I didn't know what to expect. You see, I didn't know.
We had no connections in entertainment.
Right, so I didn't have no expectation. I didn't say, oh, well, she's going to do this, and that means she's going to do this, and that means that's going to happen. That's not the way it happened. So to see it all come together and to see you on the TV screen, it's like, oh, yeah, that's my bad. And, you know, when your little movie came out, you know, you know, when your movie came out, I think I got about 1,200 people in my phone, and I think I damn near text all of them Hey, look, this is my daughter's movie. Watch it. This, that, another. Hey, text you know, just watch it. I think I sent that text to every damn person in my phone. You know.
Yeah, she swear every view came.
So
from her.
I'm like, hey, how many followers you get? I know all 250, all 1,200 of them. Those are my people that I've called, and people like, oh yeah, I saw Sabrina. I saw the movie. I saw that. I thought it was great. So yeah, that's a proud parent moment. So.
To see me make that movie.
Yeah, not just that movie, but just to see your whole career kind of come together. To see you on, Black Girl Stuff, and, my mom was getting, talking to me about it, and we talking to our friends, to see all the little, and I think the funniest one that I liked, that I really, really enjoyed the most, and this was just a little snippet, because I thought it was so out of character view when you played in that episode of Tales, and y'all were running from the guy down the street or something, you remember? And you were trying to run, you and the girl?
Trying to run from the police?
Yeah.
Or something?
Yeah. That particular episode I thought was hilarious. I thought that was the best one, one of my most favorite ones.
Okay.
It wasn't that long, but I thought it was great, because I'm like, okay, my child clearly can't run. She clearly has, 2 left feet.
Oh, and you got a kick out of my audition. I auditioned for P Valley as one of the main.
And the one where you fell off, you were trying to do a dance.
I had
you
to submit an actual dance.
And you fell off the damn stage. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that was hilarious. But I have to give you an A for effort. You tried. But I'm glad you realized that you had limits, Dancing was not one of your better suits. So, I was okay with that.
You got a kick out of that.
I got a kick out of
Let me see
that.
that audition again.
Yeah.
I bust my ass for that.
Yeah.
I was like, ow.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
All right, so
what do you want to know?
Why, as a parent, I fought tooth and nails so that you never ever had to live in the ghetto, live in the hood, live in anything. And I'm not knocking the ghetto, the hood. I came from the ghetto hood, but I fought tooth and nail to give you what I thought the best of everything. Why in the hell, as a child, you wanted to be so ratchet, so hood? I mean, you wanted to run to the ghetto, and I'm fighting to take you out of it.
I never lived in the ghetto.
No, I know you never lived in the ghetto.
So I didn't run to the ghetto.
I mean, but you, growing up as a parent,
you felt like because we didn't live in the hood, I should be hood.
Right.
But
that's a better way of putting it.
You from the hood. Didn't you just say that? You from 4-4, so the hood was in me.
Yeah, but
naturally.
I mean, I get that. I'm not
saying
saying
you can take the nigga out of the hood, but you can't take the hood out of the nigga.
Say no more. That answers my question.
It's just in my blood,
Say
sweetie.
No more. That answers my question.
Because clearly, like you said, I wasn't in an environment to pick it up. This is me. Okay. And I've been this way, have I not? My entire life. You have always said to me, since I was a kid, I don't know why you act so damn ghetto. Because you are from the ghetto.
But I never act ghetto.
No, you don't. You try to act all classy and conservative now because you far removed. But guess what? God still sprinkled it in me. I'm part of you. I am your gene. So I was in your bloodstream when you were in the ghetto. So all that ghetto came out through me.
But even when I was in the ghetto, I wasn't ghetto.
Well, you were absorbing it. I don't know.
Okay, so I absorbed. So
I don't know.
So I absorbed it, and you got it through osmosis.
I don't even think that I'm
Say
ghetto.
No more.
I don't even think that I'm ghetto. I just got swag. I'm from Atlanta.
Okay, that's what you call it.
That's what it is.
It's
you know what? That's what it is. It's not
swag.
even, it's because I am a third generational ATLian.
I got you.
So it's just in me, shawty. It's just who I am.
I got you.
It's just me. I
Say
ain't
no
trying
more.
to be nobody else. This
Say no-
me.
say
This
no
is
more.
I'm Brii Renee straight from the A.
I got you.
I was born this way.
Say no
That's
more.
a bar. But yeah, that's what it is. I think it's Atlanta. I think that's just, we always in our city, we've been encouraged to not have to be, you can be an entrepreneur, you could be a rapper, you could be an entertainer, you can be blackity black. And I just feel like no matter, even though I went to predominantly white schools and I grew up in like a nicer area, I think just being around that is like what encourages me to be fully authentically me.
Okay, I accept that.
And now that I make money doing that, I'm cool with that.
I got you. I got it. I understand.
I get it. Okay, well, now you know. It's Atlanta me. All right, y'all. Thank y'all for watching another episode of Mommy and Me. Make sure you stay tuned each and every Monday. Let us know any questions that you might have for her as an entrepreneur, as a mom, myself as a daughter. We'll try to answer those in future episodes. And any other topics that you want us to talk about, drop them below. We definitely want to engage and encourage you all to chime in. Thank y'all for watching this episode.
Thank you. See you next time.
See you next Monday on Mommy and Me.